Hello and welcome to Empire Rugby League. This is Coaching from the Couch with Bear and Wombat. I'm Bear. Wombat, how are you?
Not bad. We're doing our preview round 14, is it?
Yeah, round 14 preview, halfway through the year.
I've kicked the Badger out of the seat, but I think
well, you've kicked him back down the hole because you've come out of it.
This is my seat.
But anyway, round 14, let's crack straight into it. I think it's Thursday night, Newcastle versus Manly at McDonald Jones Stadium.
Nice fear in this stadium.
I tell you what, Newcastle at home doesn't fill me with confidence. Kalen Pong has been named, as we thought he would. This means Fletcher goes back to the 6.
Lockie Croker back at 9 for the Manly side.
Yeah, Lockie Croker came back last week.
Was it last week?
I don't think he played full minutes.
No.
But I think that was just to get some miles under his legs. So yeah, Lockie Croker's back.
Jake's back from concussion.
Lehigh is named at fullback, so no Tommy Turbo still.
Josh Aloier is out with a suspension.
Yeah, he got suspended. Clayton Falalo retains his spot. Fucking well deserved too. Tommy Talau's back there. Hey, this is starting to look good for Manly. I like that back five.
They're starting to shape up to get their few injury players back, but also a bit of consistency.
I tell you what, Wombat, this young bloke's starting to become a little favourite here at Empire. Fletcher Hunt on the wing for Newcastle.
On the wing again.
Now, we started to see a little bit of it last week when the Knights got into attacking territory. In the air, he's got to be one of the best young fellas I've seen in a little while up in the air. I reckon he obviously didn't hold his own against Lomax in that one game, but it was his debut game, and Lomax was fighting for an Origin jersey. So I'll give him some grace there. I reckon in
Couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks to a month. I reckon his aerial game could put pressure on Lomax and Coates. The kid is good in the air.
Yeah, okay.
He hovers in the air somehow.
Interesting.
I just would like to see him more attacking than just catching bombs on his own line.
Knights have another. I think that's another debutant on the bench. That is a name, Elijah. Oh my god.
Elijah, well done, brother.
Not even going to. Not even going to.
I'll let the commentators get paid, butcher your name, and then we'll fix it up after that. How do you see this one playing out up in Newcastle, Wombat?
Manly, just straight out Manly.
I can't. I can't tip the Knights. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I don't think Ponga coming back actually helps them. I think it hurts them. Badger and I touched on this last week. The over-reliance on Ponga, I think, shoots Newcastle in the foot. Just have to look at what they did in Bathurst with no Ponga. They knew he wasn't going to play, so everybody rose that 10%, and it was a great team performance. I think with Ponga, there's no team. It's just him.
Yeah.
And that's not his fault. That's the players around him. But yeah, both on Manly there, and I think, we'll just stay with both on Manly.
Manly.
Moving on, Friday night, your Melbourne Storm are back at home against the Cowboys, who have found a little bit of form of late. I don't think there'd be any changes to the Melbourne side. Harry Grant
and Coates back, yeah.
X comes back in. That's expected.
Which pushes Falalo out, unfortunately. He's been pretty solid, but he's out.
Yeah, Suafalongo obviously dropped to the reserves, but look, the Cowboys, that Pursu did and combo, only 2 games in, but it took root last week. Other than that, there's not much going on there. So which way now? Melbourne are gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. This is their loss week. Are you going to stick with them?
I think I'm going to stick with them because it's at Amy Park. It's at home. And
Fortress Melbourne.
It's at home. It's a Friday afternoon game.
Yeah, it's a twilight game on Friday,
Yeah, so it's a Melbourne Storm would do quite well on Friday nights down there.
Well, Melbourne haven't gone too great of a night time this year.
No, they haven't, but maybe the twilight night is where it's at. But
you're pushing your friendship there, Wombat.
I'm going to stick loyal to the Storm. I just think it's a cauldron down in Amy Park. It's an intimidation, and tipping into the Cowboys' history, they don't travel well.
That's literally... There was a few tips last week that I threw out and I went, I'm going for this team and I don't know why. Like Manly Broncos, that could have been a different game, but I went, well, Manly at home, I'm going to tip them.
Yeah.
This is literally all this is. I'm going to go Melbourne because they are at home and Cowboys travel historically not great.
Yeah, that's not...
But the other Friday night game is the Dolphins versus the Dragons up at Suncorp. So, Finns have a pretty good record at Suncorp, do they not?
Pretty sure they do since they started, but it's not a very long record.
No, but still, you got to factor that in. The halves for the Dragons stay the same with Lycan King Tonga and Kyle Flanagan. Flanagan holding the 7. Nathan Lawson retains his wing spot. He's the rugby convert that the Dragons picked up.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was a young fella.
He's pretty solid.
Well, he's a dual Olympian, as Vossi liked to remind us over the weekend. And Christian Tuipulotu comes back on the other wing as well. So who got dropped there? I can't. Tyrell Sloan.
Yeah,
wow, right. Fall from grace. But defensively is Sloan's weakness. But yeah,
actually, real quick, there's the Dolphins don't seem to have that much of a change. They've showed a lot of faith in Kurt Donahue, which he showed
warranted.
He showed faith in the Dolphins, but look at the extended reserves. You've got Jeremy Marshall-King, who has made it through quite a few training sessions now with a big bandage around his leg, and Max Plath, extended reserves.
I don't think Plathy will play. I think it's great news to see him on the reserves, but I still think he's a little bit away.
Yeah, potentially.
I've got a. Now, this won't happen, but I have I don't know if it's a theory, but I've got something I want to play with the Dolphins pack. Now, I feel like Fini Fuiaki, we haven't seen or heard from him this year. Now, up at the Cowboys, he's in the back row. He was an absolute wrecking ball. We've seen nothing from Fini Fuiaki this year. I want to move him into the prop.
Into front row.
I want to move him into front row because he's a decent sized frame. He hasn't finished growing yet. And I think if you have him in the front row, you can bring Lemu Elu into the starting back row. I think that's a much more dangerous balance of a forward pack for the Finns.
So which front row would you drop, Molo or Kafusi?
Oh, Kafusi goes to the bench. Come on, bro. He's knocking on the door of 40.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure the old boy would not care if he sat on the bench for the first 10 and then went out when everything's a little bit softer. Because he wouldn't be going soft. He'd still be absolutely whacking blokes. But
he still does.
Exactly. So bring Fuss back as an impact forward. And because again, Kafusi can play back row middle.
So without these changes to have the magical, mystical forward pack, where are you leaning?
Dolphins at Suncorp sort of has me leaning that way, but God, I do like what the Dragons did last week. Yes, against Newcastle, I understand. But if their forward pack can do something similar here, I think they roll over the top of them because I don't have faith in that forward pack from the Dolphins. But I want to hear what you think because I'm still undecided. Sell it to me, Wombat.
I think the Dolphins they've had a big win against the Dogs in the wet. Then they've had a bye. The Dragons did, I'd say they found their straps again. Momentum is going to, I think, carry. Just because it's a home game, I'm probably going to go against the Dolphins this time and go Dragons.
Oh, as you were talking, I was starting to lean towards the Dragons because I don't trust the Dolphins off a bye either.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, big win, then a bye. If it was a big win and then they played, it'd be a different story. But because this is them playing at home against the Dragons who have just come off a half-decent win, but they didn't play 80 minutes of footy, I'm going Dragons.
all right, just to keep it spicy, I'm gonna go Finns, but
We do this a lot, don't we?
purely because I don't know. You've gone one, I'll go the other, so I'll take the Finns. I don't know how that's worked out that you're taking the New South Wales team and I'm taking the Queensland team. But anyway,
I think we need to have a coin here somewhere.
yes,
We can't decide.
We're going to need a game choosing coin. Anyway, move on to Saturday. Sharks v Warriors at Shark Park. Oh, Sharks off the bye again. There's there was a question mark around Adam Fanua-Blake, but that seems to be disappearing. There's no changes to that Sharks side. Obviously, the Wars know Mitch Barnett, so Jackson Ford will start.
And Stowers Smith
comes onto the bench.
Well, you already know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I've been on the train for a while. I'm just going straight up. I'm sticking with the Wars.
I jumped back on the train last week. It paid dividends, and I still don't trust the Sharks.
At this point, I swear to God, I got to be in the front on the train to the Wars. I'm at the first class.
I think you're the one pulling the whistle.
I'm not that far yet.
But look, this Sharks side,
they should blow teams off the park. But
again, we say it every week that Sharks play. If they are sideways in the first 5 minutes, they're cooked. If they're going through the front door in the first 5, look out.
But I'm sticking faithful to the Wars. I've done it for a while. I'm just sticking faithful because, look, even if they lose, I'm still happy because I backed the Wars.
That's fair. Look, I'm going to jump on the Wars again as well because out of the two teams, I trust the Wars more. And
you know you're going to get 80 minutes of grit out of the Wars.
And put it this way, Aaron Clark.
Yep.
Leka Halasima back to the starting pack as well. Nah, Wars.
I think Aaron...
Because Kurt Kate was in the centres again. What the hell's happened to Rocco Berry?
He's out again.
He's out again.
He's done that hamstring. Oh, no. He's done the hamstring again.
Jesus.
Just rest him for another year.
Oh, my God. This poor bloke. But I'm still sticking with the Wars. Both on the Wars there.
I honestly reckon we're going to get Aaron Clark to step up that little bit more.
Well, if Aaron Clark steps up, then I'm petrified if I'm a Shark supporter. Moving on, Broncos v Titans. So the Badgers Titans coming off of ordinary performance at home, now travel up to Suncorp Stadium. So what, 20 minutes up the highway?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
To play the Broncos.
Well, it depends. The Bruce Highway's pretty shit. So it'll be 20 minute drive turns into 40 pretty quick.
Fair enough. But they come up against the Broncos who can't buy a win, although pretty boy Reece Walsh is back in the number 1.
And Paddy Carrigan's in the 13.
Oh, did you ring Madge last week? Did you, while you're in Melbourne?
I was going to say, did you?
No, I definitely didn't.
You must listen to us then.
So Paddy Carrigan back to 13, which means Corey Jensen starts at 8. I'm pretty sure we asked for this after round 1, did we not?
I'm pretty sure we asked for this before round 1.
Ricky and Piakura in the back rows. Nothing changes there. Chris Randall stays in the back row for the Titans.
Sean Mullany.
Yeah, this looks like a...
So, Verrills, I'm pretty sure... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was a shoulder? I think it was a shoulder injury. It might have been wrong, but we might check it here really quick.
Sam Verrills is about to undergo surgery for a broken hand.
Well, Mullany's going to be the number 9 for a little bit.
Yeah, for a fair while by the looks of it. And there is a debutant on the bench for the Titans, Arama Howe.
He's been floating in the reserves for quite some time.
Yep, and AJ Brimson is 18th man, so...
Now, that's because he's 18th man because pretty sure Titans are appealing for appealing the 11-day stand down for concussion.
Yes, they are. So
because it was deemed as a Cat 1
at training. Captain's run training, something like that. Now, they are appealing... Yeah, so... That's all it is. We've seen multiple players this year, or clubs, appeal the 11-day stand down, and the player has gone through all the tests, jumped through all the hoops, and has been declared fine to play next week. So, obviously, there's no footage of the Brimson HIA at training, so we don't know how severe it possibly was. But if the club's asking for this, then you have to assume that it wasn't much in it.
Yeah. Now, I'll look into my little glass ball here.
Yeah.
Was it... What do they call it?
The crystal ball?
The crystal ball, sorry.
Are you predicting team changes again, Wombat?
Well, let's just say that AJ Brinson gets cleared.
Yep.
I don't think he disrupts that starting side.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah?
I think if AJ gets cleared, I think
AJ
Tom Weaver gets dropped.
Yep.
Foran goes... Foran stays where he is. Weaver gets dropped and JC goes to 7. And Brimo goes to fullback.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you do have Chris Randall there as a cover for 9, and then any of the other ones can go back row.
Which I think we'll see Randall play a bit of 9 this week because the bench forwards for the Titans can all play back row. Well, Khalees Haas definitely can. So I think that's the change. Khalees Haas goes on, Randall goes to 9, and the young fella will come off.
Yeah.
But which way are you tipping?
I can't trust the Broncos.
Can't trust either of these sides.
Yeah, but in a derby at Suncorp,
Get Tony Staggs' house.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I can't trust the Broncos, but my head's telling me Broncos.
Reece Walsh back.
Carrigan at 13. It just everything is just making me want to tip Broncos.
So you going with the Broncos?
Oh, I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to go Broncos.
I'm going Titans. And before the team changes were in, I was tipping Titans after last week.
Because of the way that they play.
Yep.
It's at Suncorp. They travel from Brookvale up with all the changes. Walsh first game back.
Walsh doesn't perform.
Why am I convincing myself?
Walsh does not perform historically when coming back from injury.
Why did I just convince myself out of tipping the Broncos?
No, you're tipping the Broncos, mate.
I literally just convinced myself out of tipping the Broncos. I'm going to.
Yeah, we're both with them. Well, the Badger will be happy. We've both supported his boys this week.
Yeah, but watch this. The
Badger's
Badger's
get flogged now.
Yeah, Badger's literally sitting there going to tip against the
He
Titans.
more than likely will.
Yeah, as he said, he doesn't tip his own team when they're travelling.
Oh dear. But anyway, we move on to Sunday, and it is the Canberra Raiders against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Mate, there is only 2 changes for Canberra, and they're the obvious ones. Jamal Fogarty comes back into halfback. Tom Starling comes back into 9 after serving his suspension. Danny Levi drops out, so Owen Paddy stays at 14. And unfortunately, young Ethan Sanders will also drop out completely, although did a very good job standing in last week. Bunnies, there's nothing there. Sorry, I lied.
Whiten and Cody Walker are back.
Jack Whiten and Cody Walker are back. So Whiten in the centres, Cody Walker at 6. Jairo and Keon still the props. All right, which way is this one going?
I'm going purely off form here. It's GIO Stadium, Raiders.
Oh, this is Canberra hands down.
Green machine.
I will list the reasons why. And I am not talking about... I don't care if this was round 1 or if there hadn't been footy played for the last 2 years. Canberra winning this game. Josh Papali'i is about to become the most capped Raider in the history of the club. He's about to overtake Jason Croker. There is
Jared Croker or Jason Croker? Because there's a couple of Crokers in there. I'll get confused.
One of them. Not only that, there are 2 other... So it's 319 games for Josh. Now, there is also 2 other milestones in this game, which I cannot find right now, but I'm pretty sure there is 2 100-game milestones in this one as well for the Canberra boys. Potentially Matt Timoko and I can't...
Is it Hosking?
Yeah.
I think it's Hosking.
That rings a bell. So you got a triple milestone game.
Home.
They are flying at home. And if you think that this GIO stadium only holds 22,000 people, you're about to be dead wrong. This is going to hold 30 on this game. They will be swinging. They'll be hiring blimps to watch it above. This game is huge.
I think the Viking Club is going to be full on just for Papa.
I think we're going to hear the Viking clap from Canberra all the way over here in Perth.
Oh,
like it
possibly.
is. This has Raiders victory by thousands written all over it. So for that reason,
We're both Raiders.
I will tip. Yeah, the Raiders. You had you worried there for a second.
Not really. I was more like, I might have to check you for concussion.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, the last two games on Sunday are both Western Sydney derbies, starting with the West Tigers against the Penrith Panthers at CommBank Stadium. Now, Penrith had their first win at CommBank for the year last week against Para. It was technically a Penrith home game. Mm-hmm. This is a Tigers home game at CommBank, so...
Jerome Luai is playing up against his old club for the first time this year.
Yes, he is.
I don't think he will be shown any love by his old club.
I don't think there's any mercy in this one. Heath Mason's still in the 6 jersey, but Latu Fainu has been named in the 14.
So, last minute switch. Charlie Murray, that's a new name.
That is a new name.
And Kit...
Kit
the back row.
Yeah, he's been floating around for a little while. Gerald Skelton's back on the wing as well. But yeah, so debut Charlie Murray. He was. They're both back rowers, so a little bit of starch into the forward pack there.
Possibly. Well, Safearthur's gone to 13.
Yeah,
Suckers to back
row. Concussion, I think.
Well, Terrell May better get ready. Well, he's already used to 80 minutes, so...
Which absolutely stinks. I think if he's at any other club, he's playing Origin this year because he's being used in a more... conservative way. I'm not going to say effective because he is effective for the Tigers. But if he was at any other club...
Look at what he does in 80 minutes. Now, if you condense that to, say,
20.
Average player, 40 minutes for a front row...
Yep. 20 and 20.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Imagine Terrell May being able to be used the same way Madge can use Payne Haas. Wow. That's literally what we're looking at, but no, apparently the New South Wales selectors can't see that, but that's a whole nother issue. Penrith, 0 changes. Everyone's back on deck. I'm not even going to ask. I'm pretty sure we're both going Panthers.
Oh, yeah. We're going Panthers.
Yeah. Panthers by... I think this is... Tigers get 50 put on them here. And to wrap up the round, it is on Monday afternoon because this will be the long weekend in over east for basically what our long weekend is here this weekend.
It's King's birthday.
I think, or Queen's birthday or whatever it is. Something to do with England that we get a day off for, so no one's whinging.
Day off where we get to drink. Yay.
Jacob Kiraz is back for the Dogs. Toby Sexton and Matt Burton are still named in the halves, but if we scroll down...
Lachlan Galvin in 23.
In the 23. So on the extended reserves. Now, personally, I hope he doesn't play because I think it would be the wrong thing by the club to play him straight away.
Yeah.
I think that would cause multiple issues internally, and let's be honest, you're not actually looking after the young fella if you do.
No, and the Bulldogs are very big on their looking after their young players, looking after them. I think... Yeah, it's a smart move. Put him in the top 30 squad.
Yeah,
or the full
the
team list.
But I don't think it's this week, and I don't think it's next week. That's just personally for me. But Josh Curran's back as well in the back row. Parramatta, there's one change. Will Penasini comes back from that concussion, which means Sam Rani goes to the bench. Now, I have issues with Parramatta's centres, hands down anyway. I think we need to go buy at least one. Will Penasini, I need him to capture the form that he had when he first came into grade because lately I don't know what's going on. Sean Russell, great backup, but he is not a game-breaking centre. Jordan Samrani, I actually really like it when he's on the bench and not at centre because he can't defend it for shit at centre. But... when he comes off the bench, he usually plays into that back row role.
Yep.
I think that's his permanent position in a few years. I think he's going to be a back rower. Dylan Walker, hands down.
Your favourite man, Jack Williams, is still in the front row.
No, I don't think he is. For the last 3 weeks now, he's been named in the 8. Started the game on the edge outside Mitchell Moses.
And Tuolungi goes to the front row?
Tuolungi usually goes to the bench. Well, he went to the bench last week, so maybe he drops out altogether, or Tuolungi goes to the bench, Sam Rani drops out. Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
But the Riley Smith versus Reed Marnie battle I'm looking forward to.
This will be interesting.
I think this is Reed.
Old Reed versus a young Reed.
Yeah, I think it's Reed versus Reed 2.0. Yeah. Because Riley Smith's doing a lot of things that Reed was doing when he was at Parramatta.
Which did put him on the radar to be picked up.
By the Dogs. So, which way we leaning here?
Where's this being played again? Is it CommBank?
This is at Core Stadium. So, once again, the Doggies have picked up all the top-tier tickets and will be selling them to members for $10 again to really sell this out. So, well done.
That's going to be a mission for the Eels to battle that. I don't want to say the Dogs could slip here, but I want to go the Dogs.
You can go the Dogs, that's fine, because I will stay loyal.
Give you loyal Eels.
I will stay loyal, but can someone quickly look up the weather forecast for Monday afternoon in Sydney? Because if it is due to rain, I'm going Para.
Because we all know the Dogs so far have not been able to play.
Well, they can't play in the rain, apparently, and there's something about that system that started at Penrith. They can't play in the rain. Took it over to the Dogs. They can't play in the rain. But...
just did a quick weather forecast. Oh, no.
It's sunny and beating down, 38 degrees, beautiful, dry tracks football.
Expected showers all day.
Beautiful. So I'm sticking with Parramatta.
That could change between now and then. We know what the weather's like here.
Probably will change. It'll probably be like the best autumn or spring day in the history of Sydney.
then kick off and then pissing down rain.
Yeah, I'd have that. I'm going to stay with Para.
I'm going to go the Dogs.
You're going to go the Dogs? All right.
Just to be different.
Okay. All right. Quick recap. I'm with Para.
I'm with the Dogs.
You're with the Dogs. What was the other game? Tigers, Panthers, both on Panthers.
Unanimously Panthers.
Don't even have to look at that. And then we go
Raiders,
Bunnies. I think we're both on the Raiders there. Broncos, Titans.
4X Derby at Suncorp. We're both convinced. I went Titans because I convinced myself for the Titans.
Both going Titans there.
We're both on the Wars for the Sharkies game.
God, we don't have many different this week, Wombat.
Dragons, Dolphins. I've gone Dragons, but you've gone the Dolphins to be different.
Just to be different.
You weirdo. Storm, Cowboys. I've gone the Storm.
Both gone the Storm.
And then Thursday night game, we've got the Knights and the Eagles. Manly. And we've gone Manly.
Well,
because we don't tip the Knights 2 weeks in a row.
I don't tip the Knights ever. Well, I did.
You did
I
once.
tipped them once,
no
one. So that's all right. But I tell you what, we are only different twice again this week, Wombat. But chuck them up on socials later so everyone can have a laugh at us.
We've got to catch up on the other boys.
No, it's just Beatrix, man. He is 6 points clear of all of us.
Well, he had 2 rounds where it was almost perfect. Yeah, so that did help him.
Yeah. Anyway, what we will do is that'll do us, and we will be back next week with all the action from round 14 and looking ahead to round 15. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.